On October 28, 1943, the U.S. Navy allegedly made a 1,240-ton destroyer escort completely invisible to radar and human sight. What happened next would haunt the survivors for decades and force the government into one of the most elaborate cover-ups in military history. World War II was reaching its bloodiest phase. German U-boats were decimating Allied shipping routes, sinking over 3,500 merchant vessels. The U.S. Navy desperately needed a game-changer. Enter Project Rainbow, a classified experiment based on Einstein's unified field theory. The goal was ambitious beyond imagination: render entire warships invisible to enemy detection. The test subject? USS Eldridge, destroyer escort DE-173, anchored at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard with a crew of 181 men who had no idea they were about to become guinea pigs. The science behind Project Rainbow was revolutionary. Naval engineers had installed massive electromagnetic field generators throughout the Eldridge's hull, powered by two 75-kilowatt generators. The theory suggested that bending light around the ship would create optical invisibility, while electromagnetic distortion could fool radar systems. Dr. Franklin Reno allegedly oversaw the modifications, working directly under Office of Naval Research supervision. By October 1943, the Eldridge bristled with experimental equipment worth over $2 million, equivalent to $30 million today. At exactly 9 a.m. on October 28, 1943, the experiment began. Witnesses aboard the SS Andrew Furuseth, docked nearby, reported seeing a strange green fog enveloping the Eldridge. The electromagnetic generators hummed with increasing intensity, drawing 2.4 megawatts of power. Then, according to Merchant Marine Carl Allen, the impossible happened. The destroyer's outline began shimmering, becoming translucent, until the massive warship vanished completely from sight. Only a faint impression in the water remained where 1,240 tons of steel had been floating moments before. But the Eldridge hadn't just turned invisible, it had teleported. At the exact moment of disappearance from Philadelphia, sailors at Norfolk Naval Base, Virginia reported seeing the destroyer materialize in their harbor, 200 miles away. The ship remained visible at Norfolk for approximately 15 minutes before vanishing again. Meanwhile, back in Philadelphia, the Andrew Furuseth's crew watched in horror as the Eldridge gradually rematerialized, its hull glowing with residual electromagnetic energy. What they saw next would traumatize them forever. The crew of USS Eldridge had paid an unthinkable price for the Navy's ambition. Sailors stumbled off the ship in various states of physical and mental trauma. Some suffered from what witnesses described as deep freeze, a condition where men became stuck partially inside the ship's steel bulkheads and deck plates. Others experienced severe disorientation, claiming they could walk through solid matter or become invisible at will. Several crew members had aged rapidly, their hair turned white, minds shattered by an experience beyond human comprehension. The Navy's response was swift and comprehensive. Within 48 hours, every witness was debriefed and sworn to secrecy under the Espionage Act of 1917. The Eldridge's crew was disbanded immediately, transferred to different vessels across the fleet. Official records from October 28, 1943, were classified at the highest levels. The ship's log for that day mysteriously vanished from naval archives. By November 1, Project Rainbow was officially terminated, its research files sealed in underground vaults at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. For decades, the truth remained buried. Then in 1956, astronomer and UFO researcher Morris Jessup received a series of cryptic letters from Carl Allen, the merchant marine who witnessed the experiment. Allen's letters contain detailed accounts of the Philadelphia experiment, including crew names, specific technical details, and disturbing descriptions of the aftermath. Most shocking was Allen's claim that the Office of Naval Research had annotated copies of Jessup's own books with insider knowledge about the experiment, proving high-level government involvement. The evidence kept mounting. Former Eldridge crew members began breaking their silence in the 1970s, sharing nearly identical accounts despite being separated for 3 decades. Edward Dudgeon confirmed the ship's presence at Norfolk Naval Base on October 28, 1943. Alfred Bielek claimed he was aboard the Eldridge during the experiment, describing how he and his brother Duncan jumped overboard to escape the electromagnetic field, only to find themselves transported through time. Their testimonies aligned perfectly with Carl Allen's original 1956 letters. The Navy's official response has remained consistent for 80 years, the Philadelphia experiment never happened. They claim USS Eldridge was conducting routine degaussing operations, a standard procedure to protect ships from magnetic mines. However, declassified documents from 1999 revealed that the Office of Naval Research did conduct invisibility experiments during World War II, spending over $5.2 million on electromagnetic research between 1943 to 1945. The timing matches the alleged Philadelphia experiment perfectly, but crucial details remain classified to this day. Modern physics suggests the Philadelphia experiment might be theoretically possible. Einstein's unified field theory, combined with recent breakthroughs in metamaterials and electromagnetic cloaking, has produced actual invisibility devices. In 2006, Duke University scientists made objects invisible to microwave radiation using engineered materials. The U.S. military has invested over $2.3 billion in stealth and cloaking technology since 2001. If we can achieve partial invisibility today with limited resources, what was possible with unlimited wartime funding and Einstein's direct involvement? The psychological impact on surviving crew members provides the most compelling evidence. By 1990, 23 former Eldridge sailors had died under unusual circumstances, suicides, mysterious accidents, and early deaths from neurological disorders. The rate was 340% higher than average for World War II veterans. Families reported consistent symptoms among survivors: severe migraines, temporal disorientation, and claims of spontaneous invisibility episodes. These psychological profiles match documented cases of extreme electromagnetic exposure, suggesting something extraordinary happened aboard that destroyer in 1943. Today, USS Eldridge sits in the Greek Navy as HS Leon, still operational after 80 years of service. The Greek government has never acknowledged any unusual properties of the vessel, but maritime workers report strange electromagnetic readings near the ship's hull. The original electromagnetic generators were allegedly removed in 1946, yet sensitive equipment still malfunctions in its vicinity. The Philadelphia Naval Shipyard where it all began was decommissioned in 1995, its underground research facilities sealed and classified indefinitely under national security provisions. The Philadelphia experiment represents either the most successful cover-up in military history, or humanity's first glimpse into technologies that could reshape reality itself. 80 years later, the truth remains locked away in classified vaults, protected by oaths that have outlasted the men who swore them.